It is my privilege to represent Brigham Young University with the support of the Board of Trustees in conferring an honorary doctorate degree upon Nathaniel Marcus Roberts. Jazz pianist Marcus Roberts is known for his many contributions to the world of jazz music. He is credited with the development of an entirely new approach to the jazz trio, and he is known for his remarkable ability to blend the jazz and classical idioms to create something wholly new while retaining the authenticity of each art form. Roberts is often hailed as the genius of the modern piano. Marcus Roberts grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, where his mother's gospel singing and the music of the local church left a lasting impact on his musical style. He began teaching himself to play the piano at age 5 after losing his sight. But he did not have his first formal lesson until age 12 while attending the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind. At age 18, he went on to study classical piano at Florida State University with the great Leonidas Lipovetsky. In 2014, his life and work were featured in a segment on CBS's 60 Minutes. Roberts has won numerous awards and competitions over the years. His recordings range from solo piano to large ensembles and symphony orchestras, including a popular DVD recording with the Berlin Philharmonic. Roberts launched his own record label, J Master Records, in 2009 and has since released several critically acclaimed recordings. One of these, Romance, Swing, and the Blues, showcases his work with his 10-member band, the Modern Jazz Generation. This multi-generational ensemble is the realization of his long-standing dedication to training and mentoring younger musicians. The ensemble more fully realizes his belief in the democratic principles that are embodied in jazz music. In early 2014, Roberts first collaborated with Brigham Young University professor Gregory Clark to articulate these principles. Since then, Roberts and Clark have expanded their collaboration in a series of performances combining music and spoken word. The most inspirational of these performances was presented at a BYU forum in February 2020. In addition to his renown as a performer, Roberts is also an accomplished composer, receiving commissions from Chamber Music America, Jazz at Lincoln Center, ASCAP, the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, and the Savannah Music Festival. Finally, Roberts is known as a generous mentor to a larger network of younger musicians. He also continues to serve the blind community, receiving the Helen Keller Award for Personal Achievement from the American Foundation for the Blind. Roberts is an associate professor of music at the School of Music at Florida State University. He holds an honorary Doctor of Music degree from the Juilliard School and is currently a visiting distinguished professor of music at Bard College. For his outstanding life and contributions to society and to the world, Brigham Young University is pleased to confer upon Nathaniel Marcus Roberts the degree of Doctor of Civic Engagement through Music, honoris causa. Dr. Roberts is unable to join us today in person. However, we enjoyed the honor of being with him last weekend, where we bestowed his honorary degree and heard his remarks. Marcus, it's a privilege for Vice President Reese and me to be here in Boston to present you with this diploma in recognition of your honorary doctorate degree. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for coming.
And we'll also confer upon you the hood.
Wow, thank you so much. I'd like to start by thanking several very special people that I've been blessed to get to know at Brigham Young University. First, my deepest gratitude to University President Kevin Worthen and Academic Vice President Shane Reese, who I first met last year. I would also like to thank my friend Dr. John Rosenberg, who I first met in 2014 while visiting BYU at the invitation of my good friend, Professor of English, Dr. Gregory Clark. Greg has been a staunch supporter of jazz music and civic engagement throughout his career. In 2020, it was my great honor and privilege to participate in a BYU Forum Assembly. As it turned out, because of the pandemic, the BYU Forum was the last time that I was able to perform in public. I'm a musician, not a politician, TV personality, or medical expert. I play music for people, and I've taught others to play since I was 12 years old. It's who I am and it's what I do. This is the first time in almost 50 years that I didn't know when I'd be able to perform in public again. That led to a profound sense of loss, but it also gave me a renewed sense of purpose. While I have always valued the importance of mentoring, and I've trained and supported many aspiring young musicians over the years, last year presented us with a whole new set of challenges. We had to find innovative ways using a variety of technologies to perform for people virtually over Zoom and in other settings. I've been thinking a lot lately about where we are as a country. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought out the best, and sometimes the worst, in people in America. For many, if not most of us, this past year has been a time of isolation, and we humans are not meant to live in isolation. I lost my eyesight when I was 5 years old. I remember very little of that time, but I do remember the initial deep sense of loneliness and isolation that I went through then. Over time, I've come to realize how much physical sight has to do with our disconnection from each other. Sight allows us, at a glance, to see the differences in people and judge and categorize them in a negative way. Often, when we see a person who does not look like us, we focus on those differences. Different color skin, different facial features, or obvious differences in status, wealth, or social background. As a result, we don't ever get to know them or value their life struggles. We can't feel their pain, share their joy, or identify with their families and friends. We can't really understand the reasons for the decisions that they have had to make in their lives. And when we fail to see each person as a unique individual, but instead we see them only as someone who is black or white or Asian or disabled or poor, whatever it is, we are disconnected from them because of the stereotypical labels that society often places upon them. Unfortunately, we may have low expectations of people we don't consider as being part of our peer group or social clique. But it doesn't have to be that way, because there is a tie that binds us all. We need to take the time to really see each person, each individual human being, especially those who don't look or act like us. Because if we hold on to and build upon that little thread that binds us together, our ties will become stronger, and we'll develop more of a sense of communion and trust with each other. We're going through a very difficult time in America right now. Perhaps it is the pandemic that has tipped us over the edge, or maybe it has something to do with our current obsession with celebrities and social media. I do know that people are struggling every day, struggling with whether they should visit their parents or grandparents, struggling with whether to go to a job that they need to feed their families, even though they risk getting sick with COVID. Our country is struggling with racial intolerance, sexism, hatred, and chaos. How can we turn this bitterness into hope, optimism, and a society where everyone has equal access to resources, education, and opportunity? We need to do this because one thing I know for sure is that you can't make it out here in the world by yourself. I'm a jazz musician, and as the great Duke Ellington always said, problems are opportunities. Art, therefore, is mainly concerned with proposing solutions to problems. That's why elegant form and logical structures are so essential in art, because without them, we have chaos. And chaos is easy to create and easy to succumb to, but it does not help a group of people survive through adversity. Music is a language that speaks to everyone. It's universal. Its healing power is expressed by people in every country in the world. Whether we listen to music in church, at home, or in the concert hall, we do it to feel better about our circumstances. My mother taught me that the essential quality that we musicians must have is the ability to enable people to feel something deep inside whenever we play for them. One thing I know for sure is that for the rest of my days, I will share my musical gift to bring joy, peace, and inspiration to others. Thank you.
It will now be our pleasure to hear a special musical selection Dr. Roberts performed for us at the Futura Studio in Boston.